start, a dream home reveal, one final night in an empty house, and a Charleston dress that somehow turned into a full Bates family debate, this week the internet had a lot to say. Kaybrie Bates Clark finally made it to Texas after a 15-hour move, but what looked like a joyful new beginning came with emotional hints about the last 6 months and a very public promise from Travis that fans are now dissecting line by line. Meanwhile, Josie Bates Balka announced she is building her dream home, and instead of just celebrating, viewers started questioning whether the secret was really secret at all. Then, Carlin Bates Stewart said goodbye to her first family home with floor treats, sleepy kids, and matching pajamas, and fans were split between crying and side-eyeing the perfect moving night aesthetic. And finally, Cabri Bates posted a simple girls' trip in Charleston, but one bold blue dress sparked a conversation about modesty, influence, family image, and whether the Bates standards are quietly changing in real time. So let's get into it, because when this family posts a milestone, the comments never stay quiet for long. Kaybrie Bates Clark's Texas move was supposed to feel like a breath of fresh air, but the internet immediately sensed there was more going on behind the smiles. Kaybrie shared an emotional video from the passenger seat of a car, covering her mouth as she looked overwhelmed, teary, and deeply relieved. The text across the clip said that after 15 hours, they were officially home. For fans who have followed Kaybrie and Travis Clark for years, it was a huge moment, a young family leaving one chapter behind and stepping into a new one in Texas. The montage had everything you would expect from a big emotional reset. There was the Welcome to Texas sign, paperwork, keys in hand, the moving truck, boxes coming inside, a bright new kitchen, and the kids running through empty rooms. Travis even carried Kaybrie over the threshold, giving the whole thing that picture-perfect new beginning feeling. On the surface, it looked hopeful, warm, and almost cinematic. But Katie's caption is what made people pause. She said that one day she may share more about the last 6 months and everything that led them to this point. She admitted there had been hard days, but also some of the best days, and said she felt happy, hopeful, grateful, and thankful to Jesus. That one mention of the last 6 months opened the door for major speculation. Fans were happy for her, but they also wanted to know what exactly had been so difficult behind the scenes. The Instagram response was mostly supportive. Josie Balka said Tennessee would miss them and that she was happy for Kaybrie. Zach Bates sent hearts, Carlin Bates called it exciting, friends and followers welcomed the family to Texas and said they were glad to see Kaybrie smiling again. But once the clip made its way into Reddit discussions, the tone shifted. Some viewers focused on the house, the pool, and the fact that Texas seemed to confirm what many had already guessed. Others zeroed in on Travis's public comment, where he called Kaybrie a treasure, said she deserved the world, and promised he was not wasting a single day loving, protecting, supporting, and serving her. Some fans thought it was beautiful. Others thought it sounded like damage control. The debate became less about the move itself and more about whether a new house can truly fix whatever pain came before it. Supporters saw Kaybrie choosing peace, stability, and a place where her family could feel grounded again. Skeptics wondered whether she was moving farther away from her support system at a time when she might need it most. And the harsher comments accused the whole reveal of looking too polished, too public, and too carefully packaged. Then things got even more uncomfortable when some viewers began speculating about Kaybie's body in a kitchen clip, wondering if she had a baby bump. Many pushed back, saying it could simply be clothing, posture, postpartum changes, or just a normal body. That part of the reaction became a reminder of how quickly women in reality TV families get analyzed from every angle. In the end, Kaybie's Texas reveal became more than a moving announcement. It was a happy homecoming wrapped in hints of private pain. And that is why fans cannot stop asking whether this is truly the healing chapter Kaybrie needed, or whether the fresh paint and new keys are only part of a much bigger story. And while Kaybie's move had fans reading between the lines, Josie Bates Balka's big reveal had them debating something very different: the Bates family dream home era. Josie Bates Balka shared what looked like the softest possible family announcement, but the internet turned it into a much bigger conversation almost instantly. Her reel opened inside their current living room, with Josie in a flowing blue dress, the kids dancing around her, Kelton near the fireplace holding the baby, and the whole scene glowing with cozy family energy. Then came the suspense, we've been keeping a secret, and finally the reveal. They are building their dream home. Josie's caption leaned fully into the emotion of it all. She said it had been years of praying, planning, waiting, and dreaming, and that they are grateful to finally be starting this chapter. She also said they're excited to bring fans along as they build the place their family will call home. It was sweet, polished, and very on brand. The music, the fireplace, the kids twirling, the family huddle, everything was designed to feel like a warm, milestone moment, and plenty of people received it that way. Bates' relatives and friends jumped into the comments with hearts and congratulations. Carlin, Zach, Lydia, Law, Chad, and the official Bates family account all showed support. Fans said they were excited to watch the process and happy for Josie and Kelton after such a long wait. But on Reddit, the reaction was much more skeptical. One of the biggest complaints was that some viewers didn't believe this was truly a secret. Commenters claimed that people had already suspected or known about land, possible building plans, and alleged future home details before Josie's official announcement. So when she framed it as a hidden surprise, critics responded with the energy of, was this really a secret though? From there, the conversation expanded into something bigger than one family's house. Fans started pointing out how many Bates sisters seemed to be entering major home update seasons at the same time. Between moves, renovations, dream homes, and lifestyle content, critics joked it felt like the whole family was living inside the same influencer calendar. The phrase dream home became a flashpoint. Supporters saw a growing family needing more space and finally building something they prayed for. Critics saw a polished influencer reveal at a time when many ordinary viewers are struggling with housing costs and everyday expenses. That contrast made the announcement land differently depending on who was watching. Then came the speculation about Kelton's work and finances. Some defended him, pointing out he owns a real business and is not only relying on social media. Others speculated about his plumbing company, advertising, and whether the business is thriving or under pressure. None of that was confirmed, but it showed how quickly a home announcement can turn into online analysis of money, branding, and family dynamics. And the timing didn't help because another Josie-related discussion was already circulating about a sponsored snack ad. Some critics said the promotion felt disingenuous, while others argued that people were making a big deal out of a normal influencer post. That's really the heart of the Josie debate. Her dream home reveal wasn't scandalous by itself, it was a happy family milestone. But because Josie is part of a family where babies, houses, ads, and lifestyle moments are constantly turned into content, viewers are reacting to the bigger machine around it. For fans, this is a beautiful new beginning. For critics, it's another carefully curated chapter in the Bates influencer playbook. And as Josie prepares to bring viewers along for the build, one thing is already clear. Every update will be watched, celebrated, and picked apart. And speaking of home chapters, Carlin Bates Stewart just gave fans the emotional opposite of a reveal, the final goodbye. Carlin Bates Stewart's last night in her first family home had fans feeling emotional, nostalgic, and just a little divided over how perfectly the goodbye was presented. After years of memories in the house, Carlin, Evan Stewart, and their 3 little ones spent one final night there before moving on. But instead of quietly packing up and closing the door, Carlin documented the goodbye in a sentimental family video that instantly pulled people in. Her caption said one last memory here, and in another post, she admitted she low-key could not believe the chapter was over. That one line captured the whole mood, because this was not just about leaving a house. This was about saying goodbye to the place where babies grew, routines formed, and a young family built so many of its first memories. The video showed the family sitting together on the bare living room floor, surrounded by empty space. Carlin, Evan, Lila, Zaid, and the baby shared what looked like little treats or milkshakes, clinking them together like a tiny farewell toast. The text on the screen framed the moment as their last night in the home, with that bittersweet feeling of being sad, excited, and grateful all at once. Then came the bedtime routine. The kids said goodnight to their dog, went upstairs, and Carlin walked viewers through the final baths, towels, lotion, hair brushing, toothbrushes, sleepy cuddles, and matching crescent moon pajamas. For a lot of Instagram followers, it was incredibly sweet. Evan commented about how special the memories were. Family members and friends sent hearts, tears, and messages about new chapters. Zach Bates called it a new chapter. Josie reacted emotionally. The Bates family account said many memories had been made there, but many more were still to come. But Reddit had a slightly different reaction. Some viewers focused on the matching pajamas and joked that most families move in old clothes, not coordinated sleepwear for a final night aesthetic. Others predicted that once Carlin gets into the new house, there will probably be a whole series of firsts. First night, first morning, first movie night, first pool day, first everything. The jokes were sharp, but they also said something about how closely people follow Carlin's online life. Every family moment becomes content, every piece of content becomes a debate, and every small detail, even pajamas, gets treated like part of a larger influencer performance. Still, underneath the commentary, the emotion of the moment felt real. Moving out of a first home can hit harder than people expect. A house holds the ordinary days that become memories later. Baby cries, late nights, messy mornings, dinners, prayers, arguments, celebrations, and quiet routines nobody else sees. That is why the video connected even with some people who rolled their eyes at the styling. Carlin looked like a mom trying to soak in the last few moments before a chapter became a memory. The kids may be excited for what is next, but for Carlin, leaving that home clearly carried weight. So yes, some fans saw a sweet farewell. Some saw another carefully curated influencer moment, but both reactions can exist at once. The post was polished, but the goodbye was still emotional. It reminded viewers that happy changes can still hurt a little, and even when a dream home is waiting, the first home can be hard to leave. And while Carlin's goodbye had fans debating sentiment versus staging, Kaybrie Bates proved that sometimes all it takes is one outfit to send the internet into full detective mode. Cabri Bates posted what looked like a simple Charleston photo dump, but one bold blue dress turned it into a full Bates family modesty debate. At first glance, the post was just a pretty girls' trip. Cabri called it girls' trip therapy, and the photos had all the classic Charleston charm: soft streets, southern scenery, polished poses, and a standout blue dress that immediately caught attention. On Instagram, the reaction was mostly praise. People called her beautiful, complimented the dress, and said she looked stunning. But in Bates fan spaces, the conversation went in a very different direction. The dress became the center of the debate. Cabri wore a vivid blue off-the-shoulder dress with a high slit, styled with clear heels and a white bag. Some viewers thought she looked confident, glamorous, and stylish. Others felt the outfit marked a major shift from the old modest image long associated with the Bates family. One Reddit post joked that Gil might need meditation to deal with everything happening in the family, and that set off a much bigger conversation. Some fans argued that Cabri wasn't doing anything dramatically different from what other Bates daughters have worn in recent years. They pointed out that the family's style standards already appeared to have loosened, with more modern dresses, tank tops, and shorter hemlines showing up in public posts. To those fans, the outrage felt selective. If several Bates women are dressing differently now, why is Cabri being treated like the one breaking the rules? But others said that was exactly the point. They felt Cabri's look wasn't just a fashion choice, but a signal that the old Bates modesty brand is no longer as strict or controlled as it once seemed. To them, the dress became a symbol of the family's image changing in real time. Then the conversation moved from the dress to Cabri's energy. Some commenters suggested she seems very comfortable in the spotlight, maybe even more comfortable than Warden himself. Viewers have often described Warden as looking annoyed around cameras, while Cabri appears ready to lean into a more public, influencer-style identity. That contrast became one of the biggest talking points. Is Cabri simply enjoying a girls' trip, or is she already positioning herself as a new Bates personality? The creator conversation only added fuel. Fans noticed discussion around Kaybrie stepping into a more social media-forward role, and some joked that she could be coming for Carlin's crown. In Bates' world, that's not a small comment. Social media can become a brand, a business, and a major lane within the family. Then the photos with the Bates girls added another layer. Cabri was seen walking hand in hand with some of the younger girls in Charleston, smiling and posing through the streets. Supporters saw it as sweet and sisterly. Critics thought the closeness felt surprisingly fast, especially since Cabrie's role in the family still feels new to many viewers. And then, because the internet never stops at one detail, another thread focused on Cabrie's ring. Some loved it, calling it simple, elegant, and wearable. Others thought the rectangular cut looked basic or trendy. People debated the band, the setting, and whether it would pair well with a wedding band. On the surface, it was just jewelry talk, but underneath, it showed how intensely Cabri is being studied as she enters the Bates universe. Her clothes, her ring, her closeness with the sisters, her camera presence, every detail is being used to figure out what kind of Bates wife and public figure she may become. That's why the Charleston post took off. It wasn't scandalous by itself. It was a girls' trip, a blue dress, and pretty photos, but Bates fans are viewing it through years of modesty rules, family expectations, and carefully managed public images. So when Cabri showed up bold, confident, and camera-ready, people didn't just see a dress, they saw a possible turning point. So let's recap. Katie's emotional Texas move gave fans hope, but also raised questions about the private pain behind the fresh start. Josie's dream home reveal brought celebration, skepticism, and a bigger debate about influencer family milestones. Carlin's final night in her first home had people torn between real emotion and picture-perfect presentation. And Cabrie's Charleston dress turned one photo dump into a conversation about modesty, image, and the future of the Bates family brand. Now it's your turn. Which moment surprised you the most, and which reaction do you think went too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like this video, subscribe to the fame, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next update. Because with the Bates family, even a house key, a bedtime routine, or one blue dress can become the story everyone is talking about.